You didn't just watch me suffer. You fed it. You weren't innocent bystanders. You were the ones holding the knives while pretending to hold my hand. You stirred the pot of my agony, then licked your fingers clean, smiling. The betrayal wasn't loud. No screams, no bullets, just silence, and the quiet clinking of forks on porcelain as you dined on the wreckage of my trust. You played polite. You played loyal. But I saw the hunger in your eyes, the sick satisfaction every time I fell a little deeper into the dark. And you thought I didn't notice. You thought the pain would make me smaller, weaker, easier to bury. But pain doesn't shrink me. It concentrates me. You didn't break me. You carved me, slice by slice. Each betrayal a chisel, each silence a scalpel, until what remained was no longer soft, but sharpened. Every scar you left on me was another bite you took from the feast. I bled, and you toasted to it with your coward clicks and comfort lies. You raised your glasses high, drunk on the illusion that I was done. But I was never done. I was dining in hell, learning how pain seasons the soul, how betrayal ferments into fury, how silence brews storms. You see, pain doesn't make me fragile. It makes me feral. You thought you were feeding a victim, but you were feeding a monster. A storm with memory, a fire that doesn't forget the hand that poured gasoline. They always talk about how strong I seem now, how cold, how quiet. But they never talk about how I got here, how many times I choked on my own name, trying to remember who I was before the lies. How many nights I fed on nothing but the echoes of a world that had no place for me.
Kingdoms. You ever notice how betrayal never comes from a stranger? It's always the one holding your hand, who's already hiding the blade. I trusted them, not blindly, but fully. Because when you've got nothing left, you have to believe in someone. And they used that belief as a weapon. I gave them pieces of me, secrets, loyalty, moments I'll never get back. They took it all, then offered me up like meat to the wolves. No hesitation, no remorse. And the worst part, they smiled. They smiled as they twisted the knife, as if my pain was part of the performance, as if my fall was just entertainment. They didn't just stab me once. They shared the knife, passed it around like wine at a feast, each taking their turn, each whispering fake concern as they dug a little deeper. It wasn't just one betrayal. It was death by 1,000 soft goodbyes. 1,000 quiet backstabs wrapped in concern. You know what I mean. They'll say things like, "I'm just trying to help. I'm worried about you. I just don't want to see you get hurt." But all the while, they're holding matches behind their back, just waiting for the moment to burn you down. Publicly. I was the fool for thinking loyalty meant something, for thinking they saw me as more than a tool, more than a stepping stone on their climb to comfort. But I see clearly now, they were never trying to help me. They were trying to hold me. Hold me in place. Hold me down. Hold me beneath the surface until I stopped kicking. But I didn't drown. Keep your circle of knives. I build kingdoms out of betrayal. You thought I was your target, but I was the blade being born in your hands. There comes a point where even pain stops screaming. It just whispers. Low, cold, endless. Like water filling your lungs. Slowly, quietly, until breathing becomes begging. I remember that place. Not just darkness, but the kind of dark that tastes like iron, where the silence screams louder than your thoughts. I laid there, not in a bed, not in a room, but in the ruins of myself. The floor wasn't stone. It was regret. The ceiling, 1,000 memories collapsing on top of me. And the air, toxic with the smoke of every bridge I didn't burn, but watched others burn for me. No footsteps, no voices, just me, bleeding in a grave I didn't dig, but still chose to lie in. I screamed. Once. Twice. 100 times. No answer. Not even an echo. Because even the walls were tired of hearing me fall apart. And that's when the truth came. Not with thunder. Not with lightning. But with nothing. Absolute, bone-deep nothing. That's the thing no one tells you about rock bottom. It's not loud. It's not cinematic. It's quiet. You're not surrounded by enemies. You're surrounded by absence. No friends. No family. No fire. Just the haunting echo of everyone who said they cared. Disappearing. I looked up, hoping to see light, I saw a ceiling made of every mistake I ever trusted. And then I stopped hoping. I stopped begging. Dark. That was the real shift. Not revenge. Not rage. Just clarity. Clarity that no one had my back. Clarity that silence speaks louder than love. Clarity that if I wanted to survive, I had to become what they feared. Because no one pities a shadow. No one crosses a storm. No one chains a king that was forged beneath the ocean. And I was forging, not rising, but hardening. Each second alone was pressure. Each breath was flame. Each memory was a weight I melted into armor. I didn't rise yet, but I was changing. Right there, in my own blood, in the silence, in the betrayal. That was my cocoon. That was my forge. And when I rise, I won't need to scream. I'll just walk. And the ground will remember every step I took to get here. They left me to bleed in the dark, but I learned to breathe where others drown. They thought I was finished. They thought the silence meant surrender, that my stillness was defeat, that because I stopped screaming, I had stopped burning. But some fires don't rage. Some fires smolder, silent, unseen, until everything around them turns to ash. I became that fire. See, pain can do two things: break you or build you. And I chose the second. But don't get it twisted. It wasn't a noble choice. It wasn't heroic. It was necessary. They backed me into a corner, pushed me into a cage, left me with nothing but the echoes of my own worthlessness. So I stared into that mirror of ruin and started building. Not a better version of who I was, but a deadlier one. I didn't want to heal. I wanted to harden. I didn't seek light. I sought control. And in that silence, in that black, airless cocoon of betrayal and blood, I started forging. Not muscles, not armor, not crowns. Mind. I trained my mind like a weapon, sharpened my focus like a blade, carved discipline into my bones like ancient runes of war. No more weakness. No more apologies. No more chasing validation from ghosts who only loved the version of me they could use. I built a kingdom within my chest, stone by stone, scar by scar, fire by fire. And you know what I realized? They never feared my pain. They feared my power. They saw the glimpse of who I could become, and it terrified them. That's why they tried to break me early. That's why they mocked me when I was down. Because even then, even crawling, I was too much beneath my feet. The remains of every friend who swore I'd never rise. So tell me again, who should be afraid now? They feared I'd rise, but they never imagined I'd return as fire. While they laughed, I was learning. While they partied, I was plotting. While they slept in comfort, I lay awake in chaos, learning how to make it obey me. Because silence to them was just absence, but to me, silence was discipline. It was focus. It was a furnace without flame, heating every part of me until I became untouchable. You see, they thought silence meant I had nothing to say, but I was simply choosing not to speak until my words could shake mountains. They thought I disappeared. I didn't. I descended into depths no cowards could follow, into solitude no liars could manipulate, into the version of me that no longer needed applause, only results. In that silence, I became a machine. Ruthless, relentless, refined. No noise, no distractions, no weakness, just repetition, ritual, revenge. I didn't ask questions anymore. I gave orders to myself, to my habits, to the demons that used to run this mind. I chained my distractions. I starved my excuses. And I disciplined the coward inside me until he begged for mercy. And I gave him none. I let go of the noise, the gossip, the he said, she said. I wasn't built for petty. I was built for legacy. And you don't build legacy with noise. You build it in silence, with blood, sweat, and refusal. Refusal to quit. Refusal to stay broken. Refusal to become them. I wasn't trying to fear. So keep talking. Keep laughing. Keep guessing. I'll keep building. In silence. In fire. In patience. Because when I finally strike, the world will know I didn't just survive. I ascended. You mistook my silence for peace. But I was sharpening my crown in the dark. Let me make one thing clear. I'm not here for revenge. Revenge is personal. Revenge is emotional. Revenge means you still care. I don't. I buried that version of me. The one who begged for closure. The one who cried at locked doors. The one who hoped they'd say sorry. That man died in the silence you left me in. And now, I don't want apologies. I don't want justice. I don't want your recognition. I want the throne. You see, they thought I wanted to hurt them. They thought I wanted to drag them through the fire. But I am the fire. And fire doesn't chase. It consumes. I don't want to be invited back into your world. I want to build one so unshakable that yours crumbles when you hear my name. They thought I'd come back to explain myself, to prove I was worthy, to convince them I belonged. But royalty doesn't explain itself. It establishes itself. I'm not looking to be understood anymore. I'm looking to be undeniable. This isn't revenge. This is redefinition. You thought you knew me? No. You only knew the version of me that needed you. The version who dimmed his light so you wouldn't feel small. The version who shrank just to fit inside your shallow comfort zone. That version is gone. Now I expand. Now I tower. Now I command. Because I don't want your seat at the table. I'm building my own hall. Stone by stone. Scar by scar. Crowned in the blood of every moment I didn't quit. They don't understand it. How I went from the quiet one to the king. They say, he changed. He got cold. He doesn't talk much anymore. Damn right I changed. I evolved. And if I'm cold now, it's because the world taught me warmth. Thrones are eternal. So don't apologize. It's too late for that. Don't reach out. Your hand can't handle who I've become. Don't act surprised. You fed this power. You woke this fire. Now I sit above the ashes, not to cry over what burned, but to build from it. Because I didn't come back to prove them wrong. I came back to prove me right. You gave me pain, and I forged it into a crown. You thought I'd stay quiet forever? That I'd settle for survival? That I'd walk small, talk soft, disappear slowly? You thought pain would make me humble, but it made me hungry. You thought silence meant defeat, but it was just me sharpening. You thought I'd crumble under pressure, but pressure built me into my own god. You watched me fall and cheered. You saw me bleed and laughed. You counted me out before I ever started counting what you owed me. You thought I wouldn't come back. I didn't come back. I rose. I rose from the ground you tried to bury me in, from the ruin you left behind, from the silence you gifted me. And now you don't get to run. You don't get to hide. You don't get to pretend you never saw it coming. Because this is the reckoning. This is every ounce of pain you fed me, served hot and multiplied. This is the echo of every silent scream I turned into steel. This is the king you created when you decided I was too much to love and too easy to leave. You fed my pain. Now choke on the power it produced. This is the roar of the man you tried to cage. This is the march of the soul you tried to erase. This is the empire built brick by bloody brick from every "you're not enough" you ever whispered behind my back. I don't chase. I claim. I don't prove. I conquer. I don't need your permission. I wear purpose like armor and walk through your doubt like smoke. You thought I would fade, but now I own the fire. You thought I'd stay broken, but now I shape the ruin. It's quiet now. Not because I lost, but because I won. And kings don't scream, they whisper. And the world moves. I don't need noise anymore. My name carries its own gravity. I don't need applause. My silence makes cowards sweat. My presence turns traitors to stone. They ask, how did he do it? How did he rise? They still don't get it. I didn't rise in spite of the pain. I rose through it. They thought the fire would kill me, but I drank it. They thought the silence would drive me mad, but I mastered it. They thought betrayal would be the end, but it was just the beginning. You see, I didn't rebuild the old version of me. I burned him, along with everything that made him weak. I didn't heal. I transformed. This throne wasn't given. It wasn't inherited. It wasn't voted on. It was earned. By every night I didn't quit. By every tear I weaponized. By every lie I swallowed and turned into scripture. Now I don't look for peace. I command order. I don't chase love. I embody power. I don't explain. I exist. And in my existence, I reign. Not over land, not over people, I reign over self, over every doubt that tried to chain me, over every weakness that tried to crawl back in, over every memory that tried to whisper, "You're still that broken boy." Number. That boy is gone. That boy was the sacrifice. This man, this king, he is the